You're welcome to my channel, Mindset Academy, where we want to reproduce the figure that is displayed at the right hand side of the screen in isometric. It is a machine component and we are asked to reproduce it in isometric. So the first thing you have to do when you hear the word isometric is for you to draw your isometric axis, which will have the x, right? Let me make this more visible. We have the x, and also we have this also, and also we have the y. That is all the height. You can see that. Now the next thing we'll be looking at will be the entire length, which is from here to here, and they're giving us 90. And I'm going to measure the 90 on my meter rule. From this point, I'll measure 90. This is my point 90 here. Then the entire from here to here, which is 70, is from here somewhere around here, and I'll measure the 70. So from 0 to 7, giving us 70. Consider that. Then the entire height is given to be from this point to this point is 15, plus from this point to this point here is 70, making 85, plus from this point here to this point here is 40, making 125. Then from this center here to this circle here, radius is what? Is 15. So 125 plus 15 give us what? 140. So the entire height is what? 140. So we'll just measure 140 from this point here. This is 140 here. Right? Then I'll now complete it by drawing my vertical lines on each of these points. I project this point up. I also project here up too. Hear that? And I'm going to close it up too. Here too. And here too. Right? So let me just bring that down a little bit. So now this is what we all have here. Now the next thing we're going to do is to start carving out the image you can see on the right hand side of the screen. Now we know very well that from this point to this point is 15. It's from here to somewhere around here. So I'm going to measure 15. So measure the 15. From 0 to 15. This is 15 here. You can see that. And I'll use my set square. What I use to draw here, what you can see is that they're all thickened. So you can start thickening them here just to save our time. From here to here, it's thickened. Then 15 I measured is also thickened. Right to this point too, which is thickened too. To I'm going to take it from here. And also take it from here too. Right? And I'm going to close it up this way. I'll close it up too this way. And at this point too this way. You can see that. Now I will just try and complete this point. At this point here, just draw a line to make it form a box. Faint line. Good. Now the next thing I'm going to do is that the thickness from this point to this point is given to be what, 10. But I need to get the height first. The height from here up to the center of the circle is given to be what? Is given to be 70. Now we're talking about center of the circle. So the first thing I'm going to do is to get the center of this figure here. So to get center of the figure, we know it is 90 from 0 to this point. It's given to be what, 90. What I need is 45, half of it, right? So once I get half of it, I'm going to project it up this way, right? So on that point, on that line, I'm going to measure 70 because 70 is from this point here to this point, which is the center of that circle. So I need the center of that circle. That is where I'm going to start my measurement from, right? So I'm going to measure the 70. So from here, I'll measure the 70 from 0 to 7 is 70, right? Now what I'll do again is I'm going to project that line of 70 in this direction. You see that? That is where the circle will fall in. Now if you look very well on that line, you discover that the length of that cylinder there is 50, right? So I'm going to measure 50 on that point there. So from here to here is 50, right? So on that point 50, I will draw four intersected line. Like I'll draw my vertical line on that point this way, right? And I'll also draw the horizontal line this way too. You see that? So on that point, I'm going to construct a circle on that point there. Now the diameter of this circle here, the radius is given to be 25, meaning diameter is 50. So I'm going to take radius of 25 and I'll start working with it. Radius of 25, I'll measure it on my meter rule. You can see that from this point to this point is 25. So that is what I want to construct that outer circle. So I'll measure 25 on my meter rule. 0 to 25 here. Alright. And I'll place it at the center point here. Right? And I'll mark up, left, right, and down here. So on that point, I'm now going to draw a box. Right? I'm going to draw what? A box. So I should do this way, passing through that point. I'll come again, passing through this point. I'll do the same thing. Then I'll stand it up this way, passing through that point. I'll do this way, and this point too. passing through this point. I'll do it this way. Now this is the box I have brought out. So what I'm going to do there is I am going to um, start constructing my circle by joining the diagonal first from this point to this point using ordinate method to construct the circle. So I'll just construct here to touch here. You can see that. And the next thing I'm going to do is to pick a point from here, the center point. You can actually start from here, depending on what you want. Then I'll join it to this point, right? I'll come also, I'll do the same thing. I'll join it to this point. Now this is where they are meeting, and that is where I'm going to construct my circle. First of all, I should be able to use faint line to construct the circle. So when I place it at this point, I'll take it here. Now see, faint line first, right? Then I'll come here too. I'll place it here, right? And I'll give it 2, ensuring that it is touching there. So just like this. Right? Then I'll place it here. I'll do the same thing here too. Connect from this point to this point. This is what we have. You see that? Then I'll come here too. I'll do the same thing. I'm going to do the same thing here. Right? Now, after we've done that, we've brought out this circle in faint line first. Now the next thing we're going to do is there is another circle inside of that circle which has a radius of what? Of 15. But before I'm going to do that, let me just construct that. So let's move forward. Radius of what? 15. So I'll do the same thing. Measure 15 on my meter rule this way. 0 to 15. Right? And I'll place it at the center point again. I'll mark up. I'll mark left. I'll mark down. And I'll mark right. This way. So these are the points that we have here. Right? So I'll draw my point passing through, my line passing through those points. So starting with this, you have this way. Then I have this too. Right? Then I'll bring it down. And I'll bring this down too. So I brought out that shape, right? So now you do the same thing. You take your pencil and your rule, just like what you did here. You did here too. Take your line from this point using ordinate method. And I'll join here to here. And I'll also join here to here. So this is where they're intersecting at this point again. That's for the smaller circle. So once I place it at this point, to this point here, we have this. Right, I'm coming to do the same thing here. You can see that. Okay, now come here. This point where the line meets here. And do the same thing. And here too. So now this is the circle that we brought out here. So the next thing we're going to do is that if you look from here to here, it's 10 millimeter away from this point here, right? Is what? 10 millimeter away. And from behind also, we have another 10 millimeter. How would I say 10 millimeter? This figure on this object here, this figure you see, the radius is given as what? As 15. You can see from here to here is 15. That means the diameter of that curve there will be what? 30. So that means the distance from here to here is given as what? As 30. So once I remove 10, I measure 30, the remaining part will be what? Will be 10. What I mean is this. If I project here out this way, the end of this here, right? Or better still, let me stick with this. So once I project here out this way, that is the edge of my box. I'm going to measure 10 first. Let me start with 0. I'll measure 10. Then the next one will be what? 30. So it will be 0, 10, 20, 30, 30. Then the remaining 10. Because the entire length of that figure is what? Is 50. Altogether now, so it's remaining 10. So what I will just do there is I'm going to construct my box at those points there. So if I complete this way, so what I'm doing here, if I complete this way, right, then I'll complete this too, this way, and I'll bring this down to this way, right, then I'll close it up this way, right, I'll close it up too, I'll close it up too, then here too. Then the end point here that I brought down here, I'll close it up, and this one too, I'll bring it down too. Close it up. right? So it's remaining this. You see the reason why I'm doing all this? Take this out, bring this down. So this is what we have. I brought out 4 points. Why? Because we have 4 circles there. From here is one circle behind. Here another circle making 2. At this point, for this thing to start where this shape will fall on, the other circle, that is 3, then this making 4. So I'll start constructing the same thing I did in everything there. But it is easier now with the way I've done it. How? I'll just I have a diagonal here, right? I'll also draw another diagonal here too. In every point, is a diagonal like this. You can see that. This is another diagonal. You can see that. And this is another diagonal here. So I drew diagonal for every point. Is that taken? And what I'm going to do now is to transfer the points. Which point am I transferring? This bigger point here, this one, that I use this one here. So I'm going to transfer it to each of those points. So this one is 1, this is another one here, right? This is another one here, this is another one here. I'll come down again, the other big one, this point again, I'll transfer it to this point. I'll transfer it to this point. I'll transfer it to this point. Now you see what I'm trying to do. So here, this is my reference point here, and this side also is where I'm going to end it here. That again. So what I'm going to do now is, if I place my compass at the end of this triangle here, this rectangle, which is this point here, where they are meeting, I'll take it to this point and I'll draw this arc here. You can see that. Now, I know very well that I'll come again. What else again am I doing? I'm going to join this point from here to here is joined. So I'll join it to this point here. You can see that. Now the next one is I can easily project this way, right? Now we'll do the next one. What I did here, I'll do it for the other side too. So I'll use the second side here, which is this. I'll come to this point, and I'll move to this point. Just faint line, first of all, right? Then come to this point. Then I'll give the remaining one too. You're going to get that. Just that. Then I'll come here too. After doing that, I'm going to join this point. I'll measure 10 here because the distance from here to here is 10. So I'll measure that 10. From 1 to 2 is given to be 10. Then I'll connect this point to that point, taking it. You can see that. When I'm doing that now, at this point, right, from this point here, I'll join it to this point. The center point here, I'll join it to this point here within my faint line. First of all, you see that? Where I can easily take in this. You see that? So the next thing I'm going to do is that I'm going to construct another arc at this point here. Now I drew an inclined line here this way. So when I place it at this end and I take it to this point here, I'll draw another one here. Get this straight line first. Right? And then can come to this point and I'll have this point I marked out. This is just stop here. So now we're moving on. So what I'm going to do now is this. I will measure this figure that we have here, right? Where the figure is placed is if you calculate 10 plus 10 plus 5, that is 25. So I actually need 12.5 in both sides. This is what I'm going to do here. So we know that this is the center of the figure here. If I project it to this point here, right at this point, we're going to measure 12.5 to the left and 12.5 to the right. That will make it the 25 there. So if I place it here, I measure my 12.5, starting from 0, right? This is 10, 11, 12.5. Once I place it at the center point here, I'll mark in both sides 12.5 and what? 12.5. Right? I can even still now project it from that point, from this point here, take it here, then from this point also, I'll take it here. Right? This is where I will now project them up. So those points, I'll take them up. Take them up. Now projecting these points up that you have marked on the circle, I'll project here up this way, up, and also project here up this way too. Right? Now, and also at this point too, I'll project here up too. All those points I am projecting them up. So the next one here is around here. I'll project it up too. Right? So because I marked from here to here, we'll mark this point to this point. So get that point up too. This is what we have here. Now, one thing you need to understand is this. From here, from this center here to this point here is 40. And this point to here is given as what? Radius of what? Of radius of 15. Right? So if you remove 15 from 40, you remove 25 from 40, it will remain 15. That means I'm going to measure 15 upward here. So let me measure that 15 upward, the remaining part. Let's say this is from this point here. I'm going to measure 15 upward. This is the 15 here. Right? So I can easily thicken it. That's 15 we have. And similarly, I'll do the same for here too. I'll thicken here to this point here. And I'll do the same thing up here too. Faint line first. And I'll thicken here. see that? Now I'll take it up. We're told the distance is 10. So I'm going to measure from here to here. Now measure 10, 10 in both sides. So from here I'll measure 10, 10, and from here into I'll measure 10. This is 10. So it means that this point you're seeing, I'm going to bring it down this way and this way. And I'll take it this way. So this is thickened, and this is thickened too. Then this is also coming down this way. What you're seeing on the screen is also coming down this way. And if I really take this in, then bring this down. Right? So we're still moving on. Now if I've done that, now it means that I need to get the center of 30. From here to here is given as 30, right? So I'll get the center where I can easily construct my circle. So I'll just take, why am I using 30? Because the radius from here to here is 15. So the radius is 15, meaning diameter is what is 30. So I'll get half of 30, which is 15 at the point. This is 30 here, right? So it means this is what, 15 here. So with the help of my compass, I have this way, right? We know that this is 15 too. Everything we have here is what is 15. So I'm going to mark 15 up too. This is 15, this is 15. So everything is just more like a square. So let me bring it out. So let me bring out that square out this way. Then I'll take this up this way up too. And then close it out too. I'll do it for the other side too. So I'm closing it up, including here too. Now, at this figure here, that is where I am going to draw my circles. Is where I'm going to draw what? My circles. So let's start. If I draw a diagonal here, I'll draw a diagonal. How good? I'll also draw a diagonal behind too from this point. And just complete this. They're meeting here. I'll draw a diagonal too from this point to this point. Right? I also do a diagonal from this point to this point. That again. So if I should move this to this point here, I also draw a diagonal from here to here. Just doing the same procedure. So this is what I have. So my circles will be falling on this part. So if I should take a point from here to touch here, I'll mark this. I should take a point from here to touch here. I'll get another point here. So from these 2 points here now, you place the compass at this point here, and you take it here, and you're going to draw a semicircle. Right? And from here too, you do the same thing. You see that? That is for the first one you see there. Then the next one is I'll just transfer those points. I'll transfer this point, this inclined line, this point here, I'll transfer it to the next guy here, which will be here. Then this next point too, I'll transfer it to the next one here, which is here. And I'm going to repeat the same thing, right? So first of all, depend on how you understand it. So first of all, I should just bring this down this way, so I'll have that box there. Then this also, this box is already here, right? We already have it there. So I'll just take my compass from this point, right? I'll take it to this end here. And I'm going to draw an arc at that point from here. I see that. I see that. And I'll come here too. I'll do the same thing. Just stop at this line. Right? And now let's close them up. Let's close from here up to this point. Right? So I'm going to repeat the same process for this. Now, you transfer the point 2 to that point, the center point, that line, got the line here. This point, I'll transfer it to this point. I'll also transfer this point to this point too. And I'll repeat the same process, right? Taking my compass to where this line meets this way. You trace it, this point, and this line they're meeting here, right? And I'll do the same thing I did earlier. So I need this point here. I need this point where my reference point here, and also this, which is here. Just to run my target. Then I'll place my compass. I'm going to do that. Right? Now come here too. And do the same thing here too. So bringing this down to this point. Right? Then I need to construct the other one here too. So transfer this point also. Just the same thing that we're just replicating. So to this other third inclined line, transfer that same point there. Right? Then you come here too, transfer it to the third line. Then where they meet, where this line is meeting with this, talking about the third line, they are both meeting at this point here. Right? So that's where we're going to construct the other curve. We're taking it here. I'll have this. Then I'll come to this point. Do the same thing. Then I'll stop here. So with that, casually just sticking from here to this point. Then close it up. Right. Then what else is remaining? So I can easily just what else is remaining there? Let us bring this down. So there's a circle here, and the radius of that circle is given to be 10. If you look at, we have 20 here. So the diameter is 20 from here to here, and the radius is what? Is 10. So I'll just measure 10 on my meter rule. I'll measure 10 on my meter rule. This way. Alright. This is 10 here. And I'll place it at this center point here where the circle is placed. And I'll mark up, left, down, then right. This is where I'm going to draw my box. At this point, draw a box. At this point, two vertical line. Then here also, three vertical line. And close it up. Let me see again. So close it up. So you see inside here that my box will be, my circle will be. So I can use a French curve there just to make my work faster. Just look for the one of best fit here. So I can see that it is this. Right? I'm having this. We have that. Then there's another one inside too. Just ensure the distance is given to be 10. We know that. I can easily measure the 10 inward. Right? So from this point, I measure 10 and just place it there. This way. Now the next thing that we have is we have to taking this out now with the help of my compass. I'll place it here, get to this point. Now here it is. Can I see that? Then here also the same thing. I'll take in here. Right? Now the next one too. Here also I need to do the same thing with the help of this. Right? let's see, we have this here at this point. We're taking this. You see that? So let's join from here to here. Now, the next thing I will be doing is taking here too, from this point to this point. Right? Now, what else again? We're going to measure what is remaining. Now, the thickness from here to here is 10, right? So I'm going to measure 5 each at this point. Measure 5. This is 5 here. You can see that. And I'll place it at this point here. I'll measure 5 and 5 here. Similarly, I'll transfer the center line here. The center line in between, which is 45, right, to this point. Or I can just easily measure 45 from here to here. And I'll do the same 5 to both sides. Now I use 5 here each, right? I'll come here too. I'll do 5 also. 5 and 5. So I'll just join from this point to this point. On this point to this point. And I'll use my set square. Just take this line this way, as you can see, from here to here. I'll close it up this way. Now take it up to this way. And close it up this way. Right? Now the next thing is I'll take this one to this way. Right? And what else again is remaining? So I'm usually taking this. So the next thing you just do here is there's a circle at this point around here and here, right? And this is the 2 circles here. And we are told that it is diameter is 15 and that means the radius is what? Is 7.5. But the distance, where is it placed? If you look at from here to here is 50, right? So it means that from the center of this point here to here 25 and from here to here 25. So I'll measure 25 from here to here. So let's do that and see. I'll measure 25 on my meter rule like this. 25 from here to here is 25. And I'll place at the center here. I'll mark 25 to this point and 25 to that point. Then I'll take my, and we're not told that from here to here to the center is what? 20. So I'm going to measure 20 from that point, right? So with the help of my meter rule, I'll measure 20 to this point. This 20 here. So with the help of my set square, I'll place it this way. I'll draw it out this way. Also here. At this point too. I'll do the same thing too. Where they meet and where they meet. So they are meeting here. So this is where I'll draw my 7.5 each in those places. So the diameter is 15, so I'm here 7.5. So from here, this is 0, this is 5, this is 1.5 around here, right? So I'll put the other center here. I'll mark up, mark down, left, and right, right? We'll come here to up, down, left, and right. So I'll form my box there with the help of my set square in the box here. This is coming here. This is coming here. We'll do this too. Front line like this, like this, like this, this, like this, like this. So this is how you construct your circle at this point. To take this to this end and take this to this end. This is where they are meeting. Right? Come again, this to this end and this to this end. This is where they are meeting. So this is where I'm going to carve out my circle. When I place it here, I have this. Right? I come here to I have this. After that, place it here too. I have this. Right? So that's do the same thing for everything, or you can better still, you can still make use of your French curve. Once you can see the line that best fits into that circle, I believe this will work out well. Right? This will work out well. Let me just do it here. Let's take the line of best fit. You can just come here and let's do this way. Stop here. After that, and we'll come and just complete this. So we have that, right? So this is what we have here. We have successfully reproduced the figure that you can see at the right hand side of the screen. Now the next thing we're going to do is to draw the orthographic projection in our next video. What you see when you look at the front from this side, and what you see when you look at the side. So if you have found this video helpful, please don't forget to click on to subscribe, like, and share the video. Thanks for watching.